The servant stumbled into the alien queen's chamber, and things took an unexpected turn. Jace forced the queen's chamber door ajar with his shoulder. It swung inward on oiled hinges. He stepped through. The door slammed shut behind him. Lockdown lattice hummed to life, blue energy web snapping across every exit. Queen Ciri Vihal uncoiled from her dais. Her segmented tail lashed once. She leveled a ceremonial sidearm at his chest. The weapon's crystal barrel glowed, charging. "Kneel, human," she commanded. "Or die where you stand." Jace met her multifaceted eyes. He dropped his maintenance kit, no flinch, no plea. He drew his service blade from his belt. The queen's mandibles clicked. "Execution now." Jace lunged past her dais. He slashed the emitter cable behind the wall panel. Sparks flew, the lattice flickered, died, alarms wailed through the palace corridors. Queen Ciri tracked him with the sidearm. Her claw tightened on the trigger. Jace ignored it. He jammed the blade into the door's override slot, twisted hard. The seal popped. Door swung free. He stepped back, blade dripping coolant. The queen's sidearm hummed louder. She fired. The bolt scorched the wall where his head had been. Jace didn't duck. He had already moved. Footsteps thundered outside. Prefect Keth Varun burst through the door. 4 guards flanked him. Keth's enforcer baton crackled. "Intruder," Keth barked. He thrust a scanner at Jace. Red light flashed, threat confirmed. "Dispose immediately." Guards raised plasma lances. Jace stood empty-handed, blade sheathed, kit at his feet. Queen Ciri lowered her sidearm a fraction. Her tail stilled. Keth advanced. "Human scum, you breached the royal lattice." Jace picked up his kit, zipped it shut. "Scheduled maintenance," he said. Keth laughed, a harsh, chitinous rasp. "Maintenance does not trigger lockdown." Jace shouldered the kit. Walked toward the guards. They leveled lances. He stopped, looked at Keth. "Emitter cable frayed, fixed it." Queen Ciri's eyes narrowed, all 8 facets gleamed. "You entered without summons." Jace nodded once. "Palace labor assignment, inner chambers." Keth snatched the scanner readout, stared. "Logs confirm, labor rotation." He crushed the device. "Lies, no human accesses the queen's sanctum." Jace shifted his weight. Guards tensed. Plasma tips glowed. Queen Ciri raised a claw. "Hold." Keth whirled. "Majesty, this tool sabotaged security." Jace met her gaze again. "Standard procedure, cut power, override manual." Her mandibles parted slightly. Keth snarled. "He moves like an assassin." Jace opened his kit, pulled a diagnostic pad, tapped it. "Screen lit, lattice integrity 100%. Check for yourself." Keth grabbed the pad, scanned the emitter, his frills flattened. "Functional." Guards lowered lances a millimeter. Queen Ciri circled Jace. Slow, her tail brushed his boot. He didn't step back. "You treat royal defenses like plumbing." Jace closed the pad. "Plumbing kills if ignored." Keth shoved the pad back. "Prefect's order, detain for interrogation." Queen Ciri's claw snapped down. "No." Keth froze. "Majesty." She holstered the sidearm. "This human enters my chambers, breaches lattice, disarms it from within." Her voice dropped. "Without permission." Jace stood still, kit slung. Guards glanced at each other. Keth's baton sparked. "Precisely, execute." "Silence." Queen Ciri's tail coiled. She faced Jace. "Why?" Jace met her eyes. Assignment said inner chambers. Door opened. Entered. Keth sputtered. "Doors do not open for servants." Jace shrugged. "Glitch, fix the root cause." Queen Ciri tilted her head. Her crest flared. "Root cause? Emitter feedback loop." Palace grid overloads on high-traffic days. Keth checked his wrist comm. Data scrolled. His mandibles gaped. "Grid logs confirm minor surges." Jace nodded. "Recurring, lattice vulnerable." Guards shifted. Uneasy, Queen Ciri stepped closer. Her breath hissed, chemical sweet. "You volunteer this?" Jace zipped his kit. "Report it up, chain, or I log it." Keth lunged. Baton swung. Jace sidestepped. Grabbed Keth's wrist, twisted, baton clattered. Keth yelped. Jace released. Keth cradled his arm. Queen Ciri watched, unblinking. "Prefect, stand down." Keth obeyed, rubbing his wrist. Jace faced her. "Chambers secure now." She circled again. Slower, her claw grazed his sleeve. "You carry no weapons beyond that blade." Jace tapped the kit. "Tools," Keth snarled. "Tools that breach royal seals." Queen Ciri ignored him. "Human." "Your name?" "Jace Corin." She paused. Mandibles clicked softly. "Corin, remain." Jace didn't question. Keth protested. "Majesty, he—" "Out." Guards filed past Jace. Keth glared, followed. Door sealed behind them. No lattice. Queen Ciri faced him, alone. "You fixed my defenses." Jace set the kit down. "Part of the job." Her tail flicked. "Jobs do not include entering unbidden." Jace pulled a secondary scanner, scanned the dais. Structural weakness here, vibration dampeners failing, she stiffened. How do you detect that? Jace pocketed the scanner. Vibration patterns, human standard, her crest pulsed. Explain, Jace shook his head. Show later, fix now, she stared, long, then nodded. Fix. Jace knelt by the dais, pried a panel, worked. Queen Ciri watched from the dais edge. Her sidearm within reach. He ignored it, tightened couplings, tested, solid. Rise, Jace stood, she inspected, tapped the dais, no hum, effective. Jace shouldered Kit. Done, not done. She blocked the door, tail across the frame. You intrigue. Jace waited, no move. Her claw pointed to a side alcove. Sleep there, guard my chambers. Jace raised a brow. Guard, palace labor, now royal detail. Keth's voice echoed from the hall, intercom crackled. Majesty court awaits, Chancellor Ilix demands audience. Queen Ciri silenced it, ignored. Turned to Jace. Refuse nothing. Jace nodded. Once she stepped aside, door unsealed, he exited. Keth waited outside with two guards, face twisted. Royal detail for a human, Jace walked past. Keth followed. Fuming, corridors gleamed, crystal walls pulsed with inner light. Servants bowed low, Jace ignored. Keth muttered. You tampered, I know it. Jace glanced back. Check logs, Keth did on his comm. Frills drooped. Clean. They reached the outer antechamber. Chancellor Ilix waited. Slim, hooded figure, eyes like black pits. Queen's pet human, Ilix hissed. Jace stopped. Ilix circled. Laborer to lattice breaker, curious. Keth gripped his baton. Chancellor, he. Ilix waved him silent. Prefect, your security failed. Keth bristled. The lattice breached from inside. Ilix leaned close to Jace. Breath foul, human, what sorcery? Jace met the pits. Engineering. Ilix recoiled slightly. Queen keeps you close, why? Jace shouldered past. Told you, assignment. Keth blocked the hall. Assignments end at outer doors. Jace stared him down. Not anymore. Footsteps approached. Queen Ciri emerged from a side passage. Flanked by aides, she nodded to Jace. Attend. He fell in step behind her. Keth and Ilix trailed. Court murmurs rose. Crystal thrones loomed ahead. Nobles parted. Whispers hissed. Human in the Queen's shadow. Queen Ciri ascended. Jace halted at the base. Per protocol, she glanced back. Up. Gasps rippled. Jace climbed to her right hand. Keth's face purpled. Ilix's hood twitched. Queen Ciri sat. Court knelt. She addressed them. Business. Chancellor Ilix stepped forward. Treaty with the outer hives. They demand tribute. Queen Ciri's tail tapped. Refuse. Murmurs grew. Ilix pressed. War follows. Her eyes flicked to Jace. Human, speak. Jace leaned in. Low. Grid surges match hive sabotage patterns. Block them at source. Court froze. Ilix whirled. A laborer advises. Queen Ciri silenced him. Continue. Jace did. Emitters on perimeter walls overload theirs. Keth choked. That's invasion tech. Queen Ciri smiled. Fangs gleamed. Adopted. Court erupted. Whispers to shouts. Ilix bowed low. Recess, Majesty? No, she rose. Court silenced. Human remains. Jace stood unmoved. Her claw brushed his arm, possessive. Keth stormed from the throne. Guards trailed. Ilix lingered, eyes on Jace, hating. Queen Ciri dismissed Court, emptying the hall. She turned to him. You unsettle them, Jace shrugged. Routine fixes. Her mandibles brushed his ear. Not routine. Silence fell. Her tail coiled around his leg, tight. He didn't pull away. Door sealed behind the last noble. Chambers awaited. Her grip tightened. Guards lunged from the chamber shadows. Two of them. Rifles raised, barrels locked on Jace's chest. He twisted, serving spike in his grip from the tray he'd carried. One motion. He hooked the first rifle's sling. Yanked. The guard stumbled forward. Jace drove the spike through the sling into the floor plating, pinned it solid. Second guard fired. Bolt scorched air past Jace's ear. He dropped low, swept the guard's legs. Rifle clattered free. Jace stabbed the spike's tines through its grip. Both weapons immobilized. Guards sprawled, clawing for blades. Queen Ciri's tail uncoiled from his leg. She hissed. Mandibles flared. Stand down. Guards froze, knives half-drawn. Keth Varun stormed through the antechamber door, face twisted. Execution, now. He jabbed a claw at Jace. The human defiles the throne. Prefect's voice boomed. 4 more guards piled in behind him. Rifles cycled. Jace stood. Empty hands loose at sides. He scanned the chamber. Arched ceilings. 3 exits, main arch sealed by energy lattice. Side vents too narrow. Rear balcony overlooked the hive spires, guarded by automated turrets whirring to life. Queen Ciri stepped between them, her claws extended. No. Voice cut like crystal. Royal prerogative, the human is mine, personal property. Keth's eyes bulged. Majesty, he advised treason. Invasion tech, the court. Silence. Her tail lashed, coiled back around Jace's ankle, possessive, tight. He serves me, touch him, you touch the crown. Ilix slipped in from a side panel, hood low. A laborer as consort, the hives will revolt. Ciri ignored him. Locked eyes on Keth. Challenge me, Keth bowed, rigid. As you command. He slapped a gauntlet panel, biometric shackle deployed from his wrist. Needle-thin chain whipped out, latched Jace's collarbone, burned cold. Pain spiked. Jace clenched teeth, shackle pulsed. Linked to Ciri's armband. Radius set 3 paces max. Tug her arm, it yanked him. Tug his, the chain tightened. Spikes ready to pierce. Keth smirked. Proximity enforced. He strays, it kills him. You tire of the pet, it kills him. Guards hauled the disarmed pair upright. Rifles left pinned. Ciri's mandibles clicked. Fury veiled. Dismissed. Keth retreated. Ilix lingered. Eyes on the chain. Calculating. Door sealed. Chamber fell quiet. Only hum of vents. Ciri tugged the chain. Experimental. Jace stepped forward. No resistance. She circled him, tail brushing his calf. They test me. Jace nodded. Eyes on the shackle. Filament glow pulsed blue. Pain spike armed, visible under skin interface. Her claw traced the chain. Keth's design, biometrics bind us. You feel it. He flexed his shoulder. Ignored the throb, mapped the room again. Balcony turrets tracked heat. Vents filtered pheromones, her thick now musky command sent. Main arch lattice keyed to her band. Standard restraint. His voice low, calm, she paused, mandibles parted. You mock, he knelt. Examined the latch. Stripped a filament from the serving spike still embedded in the floor. Thin wire. Insulated, Ciri watched, chain slack between them. He probed the shackle's port. Filament slid in, touched the spike circuit. Blue pulse flickered, died, pain vanished. Chain dangled loose. Her eyes widened, tail stiffened. Impossible. Jace rose, tested the link still attached, but inert. Rerouted the emitter. She yanked her arm, hard, chain pulled taut, no shock, no pierce, silence stretched, her breath rasped, claws gripped his shirt. Tore fabric, exposed his chest, inspected the node, smooth, dead, you. Mandibles trembled, freed. He met her gaze, unblinking. Proximity holds by choice. Keth's voice crackled from a hidden comm. Shackle status, Ciri snarled, slapped her band. Functional. Jace stepped closer, invaded her space. Chain clinked soft. Her scent flooded his nose, spice and storm. Prefect's enforcers waited outside, Ilix plotted in shadows. But here chain linked them, her property, his move. She pulled him flush, chest to scaled torso. They chained a weapon to me. His hand steadied her waist, firm, use it. Her tail wrapped his thigh, higher testing, door panel hissed. Keth re-entered, alone, gauntlet raised. Verify integrity, Ciri turned, chain hidden behind her. He obeys, Keth advanced. Scan the node on Jace, green light. Pain spike armed, Jace flexed, no flinch. Affirmative. Ciri's voice steel, Keth circled, sniffed the air, pheromones thick, his crest flattened. Unsettling, a human so close. Ilix ghosted in behind, whispered to Keth. Test the radius. Prefect nodded, claws extended. Human, fetch my gauntlet. He tossed it across the room, beyond 3 paces, chain tugged. Jace felt the pull, ignored it, stayed put. Ciri tensed, her band warmed, override building. Jace moved, not to the gauntlet, to Keth. 1 step, 2, chain stretched, slack. Keth recoiled, retrieve it. Jace lunged, grabbed the prefect's wrist, twisted, gauntlet clattered. Jace pinned it under boot. Pain spike should have fired, didn't. Keth roared, called guards. Ciri yanked her chain, pulled Jace back. Enough. Guards burst in, rifles up. She raised claw, stand down, property secure. Keth rubbed wrist, eyes on the chain, doubt flickered. The shackle works. Ciri coiled tail around Jace's waist. Public. He knows his place. Ilix's hood dipped, excused himself. Keth bowed, stiff, withdrew, chamber emptied again. Ciri released the tail, slowly turned to Jace. You bypassed it. He nodded, removed the filament, pocketed it. Temporary, they'll scan later. Her claws cupped his jaw, forced eye contact. Why not flee? Exits locked. Turrets active. He touched her band. Keys here. She pressed closer. Body heat radiated, scales smooth under his palm. Loyalty? Logic. His fingers traced her arm, chain dangled between, mandibles brushed his neck, whisper soft. Keth wagers my control breaks. Ilix spreads whispers, hives watch. Jace mapped her posture, tension in shoulders, tail tip flicked uncertainty. He pulled the chain taut, reversed it, drew her in. They chained wrong. Her breath hitched, claws dug in, not pain, claim, quiet moment, vents hummed. Her eyes searched his. No words. Bond tightened. Unspoken. Door rattled. Keth's voice outside. Full scan in one cycle. Prepare. Siri snarled low, pushed Jace to the wall, shadowed him. Hide the bypass. He stripped another filament, from wall panel this time. Wove it into the chain weave. Invisible, she watched. Learned, tail stroked his back, scan cycle approached, tension coiled. Keth entered with tech drone, sweeping beams. Jace stood still, Siri beside, chain linked. Drone hummed over node, green over band, green over links. Green, Keth grunted. Secure. Drone retreated, prefect eyed them, suspicion thick. Human, kneel to your owner. Jace dropped, knee hit stone, looked up at Siri, eyes level, she placed claw on his head. Mine, Keth turned, satisfied, left, door sealed, Siri hauled him up. Fangs bared in grin. You play their game. He shrugged, chain clinked. Better than theirs, her body molded to his, heat-built, pheromones spiked. Now mine truly. Tail locked, mouth hovered near his, breath shared. Ilix's shadow flickered at vent grate, watching. Jace spotted it, no alarm, hand slid to her hip. Protective, she noticed, whispered, threat. Watcher. His grip tightened, Siri's eyes blazed, called calm. Chancellor, report. Ilix's voice crackled. Advising majesty. She crushed the grate with tail strike. Metal buckled, Ilix's hiss echoed, fled, chamber secure, Siri turned back, pulled chain, hard mouth crashed to his, fangs nicked lip, blood mixed, he kissed back, hands roamed scales, claim reversed, bond sealed, thrown weapon forged. Keth's next move loomed, but chain held. Proximity unbreakable, she broke kiss, panting. They fear you, Jace traced her mandible. Good. Silence fell, bodies entwined, chain slack, power shifted. Chancellor Ilix slammed his staff on the throne hall floor, echoes cracked like whips. The human defies doctrine. He submits to the compliance right, now, before all. Jace stood at chain's end. Scales gleamed under vaulted arches. Hundreds of eyes bored into him. Alien courtiers hissed, claws flexed. Prefect Keth loomed at Ilix's side. Grin split his muzzle. Queen Siri occupied the throne. Her gaze locked on Jace. Unreadable, tail coiled tight. Guards shoved him forward, stone scraped knees, chain yanked taut, Ilix circled, voice dripped venom. Kneel mammal, bare throat, chant the yielding or die unclaimed. Siri rose, crown jewels clinked. The right proceeds. Human, demonstrate obedience. Her claw flicked. Adjudicator stepped from shadows. Robed elder, scroll hovered in manipulator field. Jace dropped to knees, posture perfect, head bowed, but eyes tracked every twitch. Ilix's staff hovered near jugular. Keth's pheromones spiked triumph. Courtiers leaned in, bets whispered. He began the chant, voice steady, alien syllables rolled flawless. I yield form to claw, will to command, life to reign. First gesture, palms up, exposed wrists. Guards tensed, Ilix barked. Deeper. Throat bared, staff pressed skin. Jace tilted head, pulse visible, chant continued. Strength bends, fury chains. Second gesture, fists clenched, then opened. Submission symbolized, Siri watched, pupils dilated, her tail tip flicked once. Signal, Jace noted. Third gesture loomed, the breaker, final kneel, crawl to feet. Kiss boot, chant sealed, all I am yours alone. Courtiers chanted response, hisses built to roar, Keth stepped closer. Crawl, tool. Jace flowed into position, knees slid, but at final beat he paused. Inches from her boot, chant shifted. All I am yours alone and yours to me bound, mutual pledge sealed in right. Silence crashed, Ilix froze. What heresy? Adjudicator's scroll flared, hologram spun. Words matched, Jace's inflection precise, archaic clause invoked. Mutual pledge variant, dustiest law, forgotten by most, binding if uttered flawless. Jace held pose, eyes up, locked on Siri, her breath hitched, fangs parted, Keth lunged. Invalid, kill it! Guards surged, Siri's tail lashed, barrier field snapped up. Halt! Voice thunder. Adjudicator, rule. Elder scanned scroll, fields hummed. Chant pure, clause invoked, right complete. Mutual pledge binds queen to servant, reciprocal authority shared in inner matters. Courtiers gasped. Hisses turned frantic. Ilix's scales paled. Impossible, humans can't. Law is law. Adjudicator stamped seal, glow-etched air. Prefect Keth, your unilateral security over the pledged voids, Queen's word alone commands his chain henceforth. Keth recoiled, claws scraped stone. Majesty, this mammal twists. Silence. Siri descended throne. Chain tugged in her grip, pulled Jace up, face to face. Pledged, mutual. Her claw traced his jaw, public, bold. Jace stood, unflinching, hand rested on her arm, stabilizing. Courtiers stared, whispers exploded. Ilix recovered. The court demands proof, he faked it. Test the bond. Ciri's eyes narrowed. Test how, Chancellor? Command him, harm yourself, he intervenes, pledge breaks, or he obeys blindness. Risky, her regime hinged on dominance unchallenged. Jace felt her tension. Scales heated under palm, she turned to court. Witness, claw extended, formed blade from sheath, pressed to own throat, Nick drew violet blood. Human obey, stand idle. Chain slackened, test began, courtiers held breath. Keth smirked, Jace moved, not attack, step forward, hand intercepted claw, gentle pressure. Disarmed without force. Pledge mutual, harm voids it. Voice low for her ears, but Mike's caught, amplified, adjudicator nodded. Reciprocity proven, bond holds. Ilix snarled. Trickery, he read the right. Enough. Ciri sheathed claw, blood smeared Jace's fingers. She licked it clean, tongue rasped skin, intimate throne hall hushed, Keth vibrated rage. Majesty, security, stripped. Ciri yanked chain, Jace close, bodies aligned. My word alone. Courtiers shifted, loyalties cracked audible, Ilix backed away, eyes darted, plotting. Ciri faced throne, pulled Jace beside her, throne arm, equal height. Court dismissed. They scattered, grumbles trailed, doors sealed, throne hall emptied, echoes faded, Ciri slumped fraction, exhaustion hit, post-right drain, Jace steadied her, arm around waist. Hidden from view, quiet moment, her head dipped to his shoulder, breath synced, chain draped loose, then eyes hardened. You knew the clause, Jace shrugged. Studied archives, standard prep. Her laugh hissed soft. Standard to you? Footsteps approached, single set. Adjudicator lingered, bowed deep. Majesty, the pledge elevates him, inner council access, by law, Ciri nodded. Granted. Elder glanced at Jace, respect flickered, vanished through side door. Keth's shadow passed outer hall, paused, heard enough, fled. Ilix's pheromones lingered, faint, retreat. Ciri pulled chain taut, mouth near ear. They plot harder now, Jace nodded. Let them. Her tail wrapped his leg, anchor. Next right, yours. Court intrigue boiled beyond doors, whispers plotted coups. Keth rallied guards. Ilix drafted decrees, but chain bound, throne weapon sharpened, tension built, hours ticked, council chamber summoned, urgent, Ilix called it. Regime stability, Ciri entered, Jace chained, at side, not behind, Prefect Keth waited, flanked by loyalists. Majesty. The pledge undermines doctrine, humans unfit. Ilix unrolled treaty draft. Sign this, disavow the human publicly, or rivals strike. Ciri sat, Jace beside. Speak. Keth pressed. Unchain him, my custody, prove fragility. Jace leaned in, whispered. Counter. Her claw tapped throne. No, Prefect, your authority stripped, step down. Keth hissed. By what right? Pledge law, adjudicator entered, scroll ready. Invoked, sealed. Loyalists murmured. Ilix paled further. Majesty, the outer provinces here, rebellion brews. Ciri smiled, fangs full. Send Jace, negotiate. Gasps ripped chamber, Keth lunged. Heresy, guards hesitated, chain law bound them, Jace rose, calm, coordinates. Ciri projected hollow map, rebel camps pulsed red, he memorized, nodded, Ilix stammered. A servant. To provinces, specialist, Ciri yanked chain. Go, return victorious. Jace bowed slight to her, walked out, guards parted, Keth roared, slammed table, splintered, chamber chaos erupted, factions clashed verbal, Ciri watched doors close, smile deepened. Jace navigated corridors, eyes tracked vents. Shadows, assassins loomed, none struck. Fear held them, outer gates opened, shuttle waited, he boarded, alone, provinces awaited. Rebels massed, thousands, but rights sealed. Bond weaponized, hours later, rebel camp hollow call. Leader snarled, human envoy, mockery. Jace faced grid. Terms, they laughed. Surrender queen, he countered. Flawless protocol, cultural hooks embedded. Mutual trade, pledge model. Rebels paused, consulted. Intriguing. Negotiations dragged. Jace wove clauses, binding. Favorable, dawn broke. Treaty signed. Rebels knelt to hollow image of Ciri and Jace. Shuttle returned. Palace gates flew open. Throne hall reconvened. Ilix paced. Keth plotted. Doors burst. Jace entered. Treaty scroll in hand. Chain dragged behind. Courtiers froze. Ciri stood, eyes lit. He tossed scroll. Adjudicator caught. Scanned. Provinces secured. Rebels pledged loyalty. Keth gaped. Ilix deflated. Ciri pulled chain. Hard mouth claimed his. Public fierce. Courtiers bowed. Submission wave. Power locked. Keth knelt first. Silent. Ilix followed, head low, silence blanketed hall. Drone shrieked through the queen's private corridor vents. Jace snapped his head up. Chain tugged at his collar, Ciri's mark. He dropped the treaty scroll copies he'd been stacking. Metal claws extended from the drone's underbelly. Poison barbs gleamed, targeted him, palace alarm silent. Sabotage, Jace lunged, no weapons, bare hands, drone banked hard, fired microdarts, he twisted midair. Felt sting graze shoulder, ignored, grabbed leading edge. Yanked down, sparks flew, machine bucked. He rode it to the marble floor, smashed knee into chassis. Servos whined, claws slashed his forearm, blood welled. He clamped fingers around the core housing, twisted. Metal groaned, alien alloy rated for starship hulls. Crumpled like foil, core exposed, pulsing blue, Jace drove thumb into the crystal lattice. Shattered, energy discharge arced, singed his palm, drone went limp. Smoke curled, he stood, dropped wreckage, foot crushed final twitch. Guards burst in, spears leveled, froze at the ruin. Intruder tech, one hissed. Off-world signature etched on the hull, Jace wiped blood on his tunic. Chain clinked, he knelt by the debris, picked out ident chip, memorized codes, stood, walked on. Series chamber doors hissed open. She waited, throne-like chair. Eyes narrowed on his wounds. Report. Drone, assassination model, core destroyed. He tossed chip to her feet, no flinch. She scanned it, mandibles clicked. Keth's doing, delegation inbound. He leaked your position, claims you contraband. Human treaties ban your export. Jace nodded, once. Standard spacer law, he'd memorized those two before capture. Stand ready. Siri rose, pulled his chain, close, her scent, spice, and ozone filled his space. They come now. Prefect Keth strode the negotiation antechamber, hollow screens flickered. Off-world delegation, Vraxian traders, claws tapping. Queen Siri harbors illegal asset, human specialist, our claim supersedes. Ambassador Grun flexed tentacles. Contraband forfeit, we pay hazard fee. Keth smirked. Throne hall, she concedes, or scandal erupts. Chancellor Ilix lingered in shadows. Watched, his own play brewing. Jace shadowed Siri into the throne hall, chain slack but taut, she mounted dais, he stood at her shoulder. Perimeter guards shifted, uncomfortable, human too close to crown, delegation entered. Grun's eyes locked on Jace. There, the asset. Siri leaned forward, voice steel. State claim. Human banned export, palace records confirm acquisition. Grun waved datapad. We invoke Accord 47. Keth stepped up. Prefect confirms, intruder neutralized prior. Human violation. Siri's gaze flicked to Jace. Silent command, he spoke, flat. Accord 47, subsection 12, specialists exempt if pledged service. My chain proves it. Grun recoiled. Human speaks protocol. Flawless, Ilix murmured from side, eyes sharp, Siri smiled. Fangs gleamed. Denied, he serves. Keth slammed fist. Contraband, seize him. Guards hesitated, Jace tensed, delegation stirred, then Ilix moved, hollow projector activated, scandal file bloomed midair. Images, series chain on Jace, public kiss, rebels kneeling to both. Scandal, queen bonds with lesser, censure vote, now. Courtiers murmured, factions split, votes tallied on central orb, Keth nodded, Ilix tallied. Motion passes threshold. Siri didn't blink, pulled Jace closer, shoulder to shoulder. Vote stands, orb pulsed red. Censure imminent, Jace scanned hall, vents clean, no drones, but eyes tracked him. Poison glints on rings, blades under robes, he leaned in, whispered to Siri. Counter with delegation leverage. Her mandibles stilled, listened. Public, she rose, voice boomed. Chancellor calls censure, on what, my victory envoy? Ilix sneered. Bonding filth. Filth secured provinces. Siri yanked chain, Jace stepped forward, unchained himself mid-pull, fluid, held it out. This human-crushed assassin drone, bare-handed, Vraxian make. Grun choked. Impossible, cores unbreakable. Jace dropped drone chip. Orb scanned, confirmed, Hall gasped. Keth paled. Leak was, test. Siri laughed, cold. Test failed, delegation your drone breached my palace, reparations or war. Grun tentacles wilted. Miscommunication. Terms, Siri sat, Jace at shoulder, still, negotiations flipped. Grun offered tribute, trade routes, Keth sweated, Ilix recalculated, orb shifted, censure votes reversed, silent, but Ilix pressed. One anomaly, not loyalty proof, Jace felt it. Trap tightening, Siri's hand brushed his. Signal, he moved first. Spotted microdrone swarm in rafters, Ilix's backup. Launched, swarm dove, nano-stingers primed, Jace vaulted dais. Grabbed ornamental spear from guard, not weapon. Lever wedged into beam. Disrupted swarm signal. Drones clattered, fell, he dropped down, stomped cluster, barefoot through casings. Guts smeared, guard stared, Ilix bolted for exit, Siri's voice cut. Seize Chancellor. Keth lunged instead, grabbed Ilix's arm, forced back. Traitor! Hall froze. Jace returned to shoulder. Chain in hand, offered it back. Siri took it, clipped on, pulled tight, lips brushed his ear. Stay. Groon signed reparations, fled, courtiers knelt, wave spread, Ilix chained by guards. This changes nothing. Siri ignored, turned to Jace. Eyes locked, heat built, private signal, but Keth knelt last, eyes on drone guts, muttered. How bare hands? Jace met his stare, said nothing, silence fell, heavy. Corridor shadows lengthened as escorts dragged Ilix away. Jace walked beside Siri, chain linked. Her pace matched his. No words, they entered her chambers, doors sealed. She released chain but didn't step back. Demonstrate. Jace stripped ruined tunic, wounds clotting. She traced drone scars on his palm, claws gentle, then firm. He gripped her waist, lifted, effortless. Her weight nothing, pinned to wall, kissed, fierce, tongues clashed. Alien ridges met human flat. She growled, claws raked back, drew blood. He pressed harder, hands explored, scaled skin yielded. Bed loomed, he carried her. Dropped, mounted, thrusts built. Her cries echoed. Dominion shifted, not thrown, here, climax shattered, bodies locked. She panted, clung. Mine! He nodded, pulled chain close. Outside, palace hummed, rumors spread. Human unbreakable, Keth in cells, watched hollow of drone kill. Rewound, core crush, shook head. Ilix chained opposite. Silent, orb tallied final votes. Loyalty absolute, Siri stirred, beside Jace, hand on chest. Tomorrow, off-world summit. He rose, checked vents, clear. She watched, smile deepened. Silence blanketed chambers. Queen Siri slammed the inner lock. Bolts ground into place. Her tail lashed. She spun to Jace, claws extended. Your human rules, speak them now, or I command loyalty from your bones. Jace stood bare-chested. Scars from drone shrapnel gleamed under chamber lights. He met her slit-pupiled gaze, no flinch. He stepped to the obsidian desk, pulled a data slate from its cradle, activated it with a thumb swipe. Alien script flickered. He typed, 3 lines, precise. She stalked closer. Heat radiated from her scales. Command binds you. I am Siri Vihal, your queen. Jace turned the slate, held it out. Sign or no rules. Her crest flared, red ridges pulsed. She snatched it. Scanned. Line 1, human protects queen from all threats, internal or external. Line 2, queen grants consort guard status, sealed and propagated to all palace nodes. Line 3, breach voids royal immunity for attacker. Human judgment final, clause hovered. This, pact, you demand my mark over decree? Jace crossed arms. Humans don't kneel to words, ink binds, sign, she hissed, tail coiled, eyed the door seals. Rumors already leaked. Human crushed drone core bare-handed, claimed her bed. Court whispered fracture. Prefect Keth and Chancellor Ilix rotted in cells, but their webs spun. She needed him leashed. Now, her claw stabbed the seal pad. Royal glyph burned into slate. Gold light flashed. Propagation signal pinged. Nodes across palace lit. Consort guard Jace Corrin, sworn, protected. Jace took the slate, pocketed it. Status active, your move. Siri gripped his jaw, pulled close. Fangs grazed his lip. Consort guard, you shield me. Or die trying. Her other hand traced his chest scars. Nails dug, drew thin blood. He didn't pull away, pushed into it. She growled low, pressed scales to skin. Heat built again, but alarms blared faint, outer palace stir. Jace broke first. Ears caught the hum, ventilation shift. Too rhythmic, he scanned vents, clear, but shadows moved beyond frosted panels. Company, she tensed, claws retracted. Keth's remnants they test. Jace nodded, grabbed his chain, now loose on the bedpost, wrapped it gauntlet tight around fist. Pact holds. They breach, I end them. Siri's calm buzzed. She ignored, pulled him to the bed's edge, sat, drew him between scaled thighs. Demonstrate loyalty first. Her hand slid low, gripped. He hardened instant, thrust into her palm. She purred. Mine to wield, he leaned in. Voice low, yours to command after propagation. Checked slate, nodes at 47%. Throne room logged, armory queried, her eyes narrowed. You twist my law, humans, craft packs like weapons. Jace smirked, didn't answer, pushed her back, scaled legs parted. He entered slow. Controlled, her ridges clenched, gasps sharpened, chamber echoed, but he watched the slate glow, 62%. Outside, Prefect Keth Varun paced his cell. Hollow feed looped Jace's fist through drone alloy, core pulverized. No tools, no fear. Keth's mandibles clicked fury. Fragile meat. Yet, Chancellor Ilix chained across, smirked. He beds her. Rumors fracture loyalty. Strike now. Keth punched calm override, hidden implant prefect privilege. Extraction alpha, midnight mark, chamber's outer ring, neutralize human, queen untouched. Status unconfirmed, packed rumor. Move. Team lead whispered back. Confirmed, Prefect breaching in 5, suppressant gas primed, human drops quiet. Keth cut link, fists clenched. Tool breaks, court stabilizes. Ilix chuckled. If packed seals, Keth snarled, nodes lag. We cut first. Back in chambers, Jace drove deeper. Siri arched, claws shredded sheets. Faster, he obliged, rhythm built. Slate hit 78%. Her cries peaked, body locked. Waves hit, he followed, pulled out clean. Rolled aside, silence fell, brief, heavy breath synced. Her hand rested on his thigh, crest dimmed. Uncertainty flickered, first time shown. This bond it propagates? Jace nodded, checked vents again, footsteps neared, muffled. Your court tests it. She rose, scales flushed deeper blue, grabbed robe. They die. Jace stood. Chained fist ready, slate at 89%. Packed first. Outer panel hissed, gas vents cracked, suppressant mist curled. Alien mix meant to drop humans cold. Jace inhaled shallow, human lungs filtered. Standard training, no cough, no stagger. Team lead burst through, 3 enforcers. Stun lances charged. Target acquired, neutralize, Siri whirled. Stand down, he is consort guard. Lead hesitated, lance dipped. Status unpropagated, majesty, prefect orders. Jace moved, chain whipped, caught lead's wrist. Yanked, lance clattered. Human grip crushed bone audible. Snap. Lead howled, enforcers lunged. Jace sidestepped first. Elbow to throat plate, cracked. Second swung baton, Jace ducked. Chain looped neck, pulled taut, dropped limp. Siri watched, crest flared shock. No weapons, no pause. Third enforcer fired wild. Stun bolt grazed Jace's arm. Tingled, ignored, he charged, tackled. Fists hammered helmet. Visor starred, enforcer stilled, slate chimed. 100%, full propagation. Palace-wide, Jace rose, blood dripped from knuckles. Turned bodies face down. Zip-cuffed with their own restraints. Dragged to outer lock, sealed them in transit tube. Auto-alert triggered, breach logged. Consort guard intact, Siri approached. Touched his arm, bolt mark red but fading. You breathed the mist. Jace wiped blood. Standard procedure. Pocketed leads calm, punching Keth's override code, recording captured, she gripped his shoulders, pulled flush. Packed works, you wield it like blade. Alarms wailed distant. Palace nodes lit, extraction failed, prefect implicated. In cells, Keth's implant buzzed. Feed auto-forwarded, team down, human untouched, packed sealed. His mandibles locked, Ilix leaned forward. Game shifts. Keth smashed console, sparks flew. Silence swallowed the cell. Chambers quieted, Siri traced Jace's jaw. Summit tomorrow. You attend as guard. Jace nodded, checked seals, clear, pulled her close, chain linked loose. Her tail wrapped his leg, heat simmered. Palace hummed, votes tallied anew, human not servant. Weapon hers, outside enforcer teams rerouted. Nodes queried, consort guard protocol. Immunity absolute. Jace lay back. Siri curled against him, claws gentle now. Sleep, threats end. He scanned once more, slate secure, eyes closed, silence blanketed chambers, deeper, final. Jace slammed the override sequence into his slate, chamber sensors flatlined. A dead zone bloomed across the Queen's private wing, no feeds, no audio ghosts, no thermal echoes. Palace eyes went blind. Siri uncoiled from the bed furs, her tail flicked once. She stepped into the zone's heart, claws clicking on stone. Extraction inbound, Keth's final push. Jace patched the outer corridor feed, 12 enforcers stacked at the access hatch. Keth's marker blinked lead position. Full kit, stunners, breacher charges, neural whips, she gripped his wrist. Scales rasped warm against skin. Take control without killing my court. He nodded, no words, slid the maintenance panel. Palace bones yawned open, duct networks laced every level, alien engineering begging human touch. Jace dropped a crawler drone, it scuttled into the veins, fingers danced. Grid armed, vents primed with paralytic mist. Floor panels rigged to magnet lock boots. Walls deployed flex cables. Non-lethal symphony, trigger sync-to-hatch breach. Drone feed showed the stack tight. Keth barked orders, hatch hissed, they surged. Jace sealed the panel. Dead zone held. Siri's breath ghosted his neck. Her hand stayed on his arm. Corridor feed flickered live. Enforcers hit the grid. Mist bloomed first, masks clogged, engineered for human filters but laced with human-sourced neutralizers. Boots fused to deck. Cables whipped from seams, binding limbs mid-stride. 12 bodies dropped in sync. No shots fired, no blades drawn, Siri's claws flexed. How? Maintenance protocols? Jace wiped the slate, feed looped blank. They rebuild it daily, I rerouted. Alarms stuttered distant. Palace nodes queried the blackout, queries bounced void. She pulled him back to the chamber core, tail coiled his thigh, heat pressed close. Summit in hours, Ilix circles, this binds them. Jace scanned residual pings. Clear, he let her lead him down, claws traced his chest. Lips brushed collarbone, scaled, fierce, packed, pulsed deeper. Not servant, consort, weapon, palace hummed softer now, votes shifted in shadows. Keth Varun smashed his command console, sparks died, cell walls hummed with lockdown fields. Ilix paced the far side, mandibles twitching. Team status, Keth snarled into his implant. Silence answered, no vitals, no pings, entire stack gone, Ilix halted. Dead zone propagated, human touch. Keth's override codes failed, every channel flat. Impossible, sensors confirmed breach. Grid confirmed capture. Ilix's voice sliced low. Non-lethal. He spares your enforcers, hers now. Prefect's fists clenched. Feed fragments looped in his mind, missed locks, cables. Human rewired the veins, palace infrastructure turned cage, alarms cut. Palace-wide quiet fell, nodes rerouted blind. Keth triggered emergency beacon. Static swallowed it, Ilix smiled thin. Game ends, she crowns him leverage. Cell lights dimmed, silence pressed. Jace felt the palace settle. Slate chimed, grid full, 12 secured in transit tubes. Auto alerts logged as protocol breach. Immunity held, Siri rose fluid. Slipped into summit robes, gold chains gleamed. You guard me there. He checked seals, dead zone stable. Crawler drone returned, data payload intact. New maps loaded, Chancellor's wing, prefect vaults, next layers exposed. Her gaze locked his. They test tomorrow. Ilix's treaty play. Jace pocketed the slate, hand found her waist, pulled firm. They lose. She leaned in, lips met scaled, heat flared, tail tightened, packed sealed hotter, quiet held, one breath. Her claws paused on his back, uncertainty flickered in the grip. Summit loomed. Ilix's web spun wide, could control hold, palace still deeper. No pings, no shadows stirred, Jace broke first, slate out. Summit feeds tapped. Ilix's chamber lit, Chancellor rallied whispers. Votes tallied, 43% hers, fracturing. Time. He stepped to the door panel, seals parted silent. Siri followed, tail brushed his leg. Dead zone trailed them like shadow, corridors emptied. Enforcers rerouted by auto protocols. Nodes queried Jace's overrides, accepted as consort guard. They reached the summit antechamber. Doors loomed, murmurs leaked through. Jace palmed a side panel, maintenance vein pulsed. One tap, antechamber vents primed, subtle grid variant, mistuned for doctrinal enforcers only. Siri's hand squeezed his. No kills. Confirmed. He sealed it. Backup only, doors cycled, cord assembled. Ilix at dais flank. Surviving prefects flanked him, Keth absent, cell-bound. Queen strode center, Jace at her shoulder. Claws linked loose, Ilix bowed sharp. Majesty, treaty demands ratification. Human anomaly, Siri cut air with talon. Anomaly guards, extraction failed, Prefect Keth contained. Gasps rippled, Ilix's mandibles stilled, Jace scanned slates, whispers peaked, votes live 52%, Chancellor leaned forward. Leverage fractures thrown, cull it. Siri's tail flicked Jace's calf, signal clear, he triggered antechamber subtle. Vents whispered missed, targeted, doctrinal pheromones disrupted. Enforcers swayed, slates dropped. Loyalties scrambled, Ilix lunged for console, too slow. Flex Gables snaked from dais base. Bound his arms, court froze. Votes locked, 71% hers. Siri claimed the throne, Jace flanked iron. Summit proceeds, human pact absolute. Murmurs died, eyes locked on chains, queen to guard, bond weaponized, Ilix strained, cables held. Regime crumbles. She traced Jace's arm, public. It rises. Quiet spread, votes finalized. Silence gripped the hall, Jace felt the shift. Palace nodes bowed, new protocols embedded, human overrides core. Siri's gaze met his, victory hummed, one enforcer twitched, mist faded, he knelt first. Others followed, quiet compliance rippled. Ilix's mandibles locked, eyes widened on the grid scars. Silence blanketed the summit. Every rifle in the palace chamber clicked to safe mode. Jace felt the network yield under his fingers. Maintenance trunks hummed beneath the dais, their access panels pried open moments ago during the pheromone haze. He'd crawled the conduits like veins, splicing human-grade overrides into the core grid. No alarms tripped, no defenses fired. Just clean insertion, every weapon from enforcer sidearms to turret emplacements locked inert. Ammo feed severed, triggers dead. Queen Siri's claws tightened on his arm. Her signal now, she released him, stepped forward. The tribunal doors hissed open. Prefect Keth Varun shuffled in, chains rattling under guard escort. His mandibles ground fury. Surviving prefects flanked Chancellor Ilix at the dais edge. Votes flickered on slates, 71% locked, but censure whispers built. Siri's voice sliced the air. Prefect Keth Varun, stripped of rank, treason proven. Keth lunged. Lies, human filth. His guards raised rifles, triggers pulled, nothing, clicks echoed. Barrels stayed cold. Guards froze, mandibles gaping at inert grips. Jace watched from her shadow. Network confirmed, full lockdown, no overrides possible without his clearance. Keth's eyes bulged. He yanked his own sidearm. Dead metal, Siri advanced. Her tail brushed Jace's leg, possession marked. Your doctrinal enforcers fail, humans endure. Guards dropped weapons. Clattered to stone, they knelt, spines bent. Keth snarled. Regicide, Ilix, call the vote. Chancellor Ilix bolted for the central console, mandibles flared. Censure, full court, fracture her rule. His claws slammed the panel. Comms froze. Royal override engaged. Jace's splice again layered deeper, every slate blanked. Projection grids died. Ilix's call choked silent. The court gasped. Whispers choked to halt. Siri mounted the throne dais. Jace flanked her unchallenged. Her hand claimed his wrist. Public. Bond sealed. Ilix whirled. Impossible. Grid integrity. Human integrity, Siri said. Mine, Keth charged. Chains snapped taut. Guards blocked him. Loyalty flipped. He spat pheromones. Ignored. Jace scanned the hall. Nodes green. Every security trunk under his command. Turrets slaved, doors sealed, escape vectors null, one enforcer twitched, raised a blade, melee fallback, Jace triggered vent purge, gas flushed, neural dampeners, enforcer slumped, court enforcers followed, dropped prone, Ilix hammered the console, sparks flew. Backup protocols failed, his slate cracked under claw, Siri sat, throne accepted her weight. Summit ratifies, human pact binds all. Votes finalized 92%. Unopposed, Keth roared, collapsed as dampeners hit. Ilix straightened, mandibles locked wide. Eyes traced the dais seams, trunk scars faint. Realization hit. You infiltrated the core. Silence spread. Jace stood unmoved. Competence routine. Siri's gaze locked his. Throne shook no more. The hall dropped still.